Twitter threatens Meta, your news update, and the Grammys on AI on this edition of Arbitrage News Weekend, starting right now. Hello and welcome to Arbitrage News Weekend for July 8th, 2023. I'm Joshua Stark. In a move no one saw coming, and yes, I'm being sarcastic, Twitter has threatened legal action against Meta over its new text-based app called Threads, which has drawn tens of millions of users since launching this week as a rival to Elon Musk's social media platform. In a letter Wednesday to Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg, Alex Spiro, an attorney representing Twitter, accused Meta of unlawfully using Twitter's trade secrets and other intellectual property by hiring former Twitter employees to create a copycat app. The move ramps up the tensions between the social media giants after Threads debuted Wednesday, targeting those who are seeking out alternatives to Twitter. Robots told reporters Friday that they would be more efficient leaders than humans, but wouldn't take anyone's job away and had no intention of rebelling against their creators. 9 AI-enabled humanoid robots sat or stood with their creators at a podium in a Geneva conference center for what the United Nations International Telecommunication Union billed as the world's first news conference featuring humanoid social robots. Reporters were asked to speak slowly and clearly when addressing the robots, and they were informed what time lags in responses would be due to the internet connection and not to the robots themselves. That didn't prevent awkward pauses, audio problems, and some robotic replies. Among the robots speaking was Sophia, the first robot innovation ambassador for the UN Development Program. The combat boots and dog tags that Alan Alda wore to portray the wisecracking surgeon Hawkeye on the beloved television series MASH meant so much to him that when the show ended 40 years ago, he kept them. But now he's ready to let the pieces go in service of another passion, his center dedicated to helping scientists and doctors communicate better. Heritage Auctions is offering up the worn boots and military identification tags on July 28th in Dallas. The money raised from the auction will go to the Alan Alda Center for Communicating Science at Stony Brook University in New York, a center he helped start to help scientists and doctors communicate better by applying improvisational exercises and communication strategies. Thousands of thrill seekers took part Friday in the first running of the bulls at the San Fermin Festival in the northern Spanish city of Pamplona. Several runners took knocks and hard falls in the 8 a.m. event, but no one was gored by the beasts, a frequent feature of the spectacle. The festival attracts hundreds of thousands of tourists. Nearly 1.7 million people visited Pamplona for the celebrations in 2022, and forecasts are higher for this year with all COVID-19 constraints ended. Although protested by activists, visitors from the U.S. and Canada comprise 70% of hotel bookings during the festival. Expert bull runners, mostly locals, try to sprint at full steam just in front of the bullhorns before peeling off at the last second. Almost everyone in Pamplona wears the traditional white shirt and pants with red sash and neckerchief during the colorful festival. More after this on Arbitrage News Weekend. Stick around.
I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
This week's Arbitrage blog includes Bears and Bears and Bears Oh My, Diddy and Diageo deliberate, and a Grammy for AI. All this and more in this week's Arbitrage blog, available now at arbitragetrade.com. Now let's go to the president and CEO of Arbitrage, Royce Wells, for more Royce Wells. You know, Ari has been back for a little bit with us, and she's hitting the gate kind of hard on science articles. And
Well, we know we love our science, and she's our science girl, so.
there we go. So we're talking about grizzly bears in particular. Grizzly bears being trapped in parts of Yellowstone National Park. No comment about Yogi.
Hey, boo-boo.
But it looks like they're trying to collect key population parameters in order to better understand the decline and subsequent increase in the grizzly bear population that we're seeing. Grizzly bears were previously on the endangered species list, with an estimated 250 bears existing in Yellowstone, but now that number has been estimated closer to 700. So now they're a threatened species. Congratulations.
Woohoo! Progress.
So that really doesn't mean that you can mess with the bears, because they still can't be hunted. They are now listed as a threatened species, not an endangered species, which means killing one, the punishment isn't quite as bad as killing one on the endangered species list. However, that doesn't mean mess with the bears. As a matter of fact, jail time is waiting for you if you approach grizzly bear cubs. So
Wow.
yeah,
Go Grizz.
yeah, I see what you did there.
Oh, you're welcome.
I see what you did there.
Wasn't that beautiful?
That was something.
Wow.
That
Okay.
was something.
Hey, you like the fact that the puns are always there.
Maybe. But, yeah, I mean, there's been an increase in grizzly bears, and the likelihood of seeing a grizzly bear or cubs is higher. It's not unique to Yellowstone, but to all places where grizzly bears might call home. To be clear, the grizzly bear is a native to North America, with a majority of the population split between Alaska and Canada.
Yeah, that's pretty chilly. I like the South for a reason. Have you seen the size of a grizzly bear's paw? Yeah, I'm good.
It's quite big. It's quite large. Yeah. And I really don't want to be on the clawy side of one. Definitely not.
Yeah, I like bear claws though. This is the best part of my week.
You just like donuts, man.
Well, hey,
All like donuts.
who doesn't?
Who doesn't, man?
I know Howard's has some pretty good donuts. What? Okay, Krispy Kreme too. What? USA Donuts?
Dude.
I can name anybody.
Throw Gibson's in there. Throw
Gibson, right?
I mean, come on. Let's
Hey.
let's just go have a donut.
Can we have a donut pub crawler?
Ooh. My diabetes says no, but my heart says yes.
This is unbearable.
Oh, no. Read more about this on arbitragetrade.com/blog, because we definitely don't know what we're talking about. More after this.
Hey, wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys, I love this song. I love these nachos. I love our kickball league. Ugh! I love this guy. What's your name? You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
To protect her home and family in a disaster, Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paperwork.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Our Director of Education, Caroline Hollis, is here with us. Welcome to the show, Caroline.
Thanks for having me back, Josh.
So tell me about your article this week. There's a thing called Mother-ese.
Yes, Mother-ese. A lot of us would call it baby talk, kind of the way that adults interact with young children and infants. I mean, you know your cute little baby talk. And scientists recently discovered that dolphins use baby talk when talking with their young, and this was actually a long research process. It spanned about 30 years, and they kept putting sensors in the water when the dolphins would migrate back to an area they had been in, so they were able to actually record the sounds of the same mother dolphins over years.
Wow, that is actually really cool because, I mean, we know that dolphins speak to each other using like a whistle, the whistles.
There's some
and
clicks and squeaks.
Yeah. But the fact that they use this in a way that's comparable to what we use with our own children is kind of that's kind of amazing.
Right. You know, and with adults and humans, we tend to increase the range and the pitch just in general. We talk higher and we have a more pronounced range. And they noticed that with these mother dolphins. Something that I learned in doing research for the article was that each dolphin has their own signature whistle, kind of like how we have our own names. I did not realize that dolphins kind of had their names.
I'm Whistle Squeak Click.
Exactly, yes. And that actually the young dolphins kind of play around and find what they want their name to be as they're young. So that was kind of interesting that it's almost like the baby dolphins name themselves with their own signature whistle.
Not only do they have their own names, but they also have a style within groups, meaning almost their own language?
Right, kind of like different dialects,
Yeah.
almost, from, different regions of the United States. There are different ways we might say things. And some of the research was talking about different temperatures of the water where the dolphins lived, or maybe if there was a lot of seaweed across the bottom or coral, just different things that can change the way that sound travels through the water.
Oh, wow.
So that can affect kind of a pod and how their language develops.
Well, pods, similar to the way that we have accents and that sort of thing. It seems like it's more of an accent than a language. We have our northern and our southern and our,
the
Midwest and that sort of thing. And
right.
Talking to a friend from London, it's totally different, and that's really significant. I'm kind of shocked by that as well.
And one thing that it said, it was most often that this Mother-ese speak from the mother dolphins was pretty much when the mother said her signature whistle, so her name,
right?
Almost announcing in a more, in a way that the baby dolphins could hear better. Say, hey, mom's over here, and not just in everyday communication.
Not only that, but there was a specific pitch and tone, right?
Yes.
It was higher, and the pitch range was greater than usual.
Right.
So she was trying to be heard.
Exactly, just like all mothers do.
Read more about this on arbitragetrade.com/blog.
Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here.
I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day, baby. You're our legacy.
Planning for these disasters will make sure we're safe, and is the best way to protect that legacy. You know what? We should make an emergency communication plan. That way we're ready this year. At my dorm, we have emergency kits for earthquakes and wildfires, but I'm sure there's something more local. I can send you with a link.
Okay, smart.
protect your legacy. Visit ready.gov/plan for the tools and tips you need to start your emergency preparedness plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
We all enjoy a good spirit every once in a while around here.
We like ghosts, yes.
No, I'm speaking of drinking.
Well, okay. If we
In
keep it
specific,
fluid,
in
yeah, we can do it.
specific, maybe a tequila every once in a while.
Yes, I do like a good tequila.
Here's a question. Have you ever tried the De Leon tequila brand?
Question.
Answer.
Is it actually made in the city of Tequila?
Technically speaking, I don't think so.
Because it can't actually bear the name tequila if it's not. It may be an agave product, but I mean, if you're gonna nitpick, and he's gonna nitpick about how favorably or unfavorably they're treating it, it has to be authentic.
He's speaking about rapper, producer, and entrepreneur Mr. Sean Diddy Combs, who's asking the New York Supreme Court to enforce a 2021 agreement that requires seller Diageo to treat his De Leon tequila brand at least as favorably as its other tequila brands.
That means it has to be created in the same city.
I just work here, man.
I'm
don't know.
just saying.
But you would figure that Diageo knows what they're doing because they own more than 200 brands, including Guinness Beer and Tanqueray Gin. And apparently there were years of neglect for Diddy's brand that he established with the company in 2013.
Well, hey, you call it neglect, I call it oversight.
Well, you know, here's the thing, right? So Diageo being a global brand and looking for, you know, tequila and that sort of thing, they bought out Don Julio in 2014. We know Don Julio.
Yeah.
They bought out Casamigos in 2017. We know Casamigos.
Absolutely. So with that type of name recognition, if you want to play with the best of the best, you got to be at least good.
Here's the thing, though. I mean, is it the best?
That's where I'm at. I have never seen De Leon.
Never seen it. You're right.
In any liquor store.
However, here's the thing. De Leon, according to paperwork that Combs has, is distributed in 3% of possible outlets, for example, while Don Julio was in 36%.
Once again, people know what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
So you can't expect the same distribution if the name and the demand, otherwise you have a large amount of inventory and not a lot of demand, which means you left holding the bottle.
Oh, I see what you did there. Here's the thing. Diageo also informed Combs that their agave plants were allocated to other brands, meaning that De Leon had to go outside of the umbrella to find suppliers, more expensive suppliers, and apparently harmed the brand.
Oh, I believe that. Actually, I'm a connoisseur of tequila, so yeah, there are different types of agave, and if you don't get good agave, some taste really smoky, some taste really sweet. If you get the wrong thing, you get a very, very different product.
Yeah, well, more information on this on our website. However, we'll keep an eye on this for Diddy. More after this.
Shots!
I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling on it.
The dad joke. Corny, grown-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
What did the buffalo say when he dropped his son off for school? Bye, son.
So take a moment to make your kid laugh, because dad jokes rule. Make your kid laugh today. Go to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
David Grantham is here, our guru of Costco. Costco guru, I guess that works.
Ouch. Yeah, Costco junkie, Costco addict. Wish I didn't have as much experience with Costco.
He has a lot of experience with Costco and knows a little bit about getting good deals and how to get the better value for your money. And we are trying to, in this article available at arbitragetrade.com/blogs, exploring some tips and strategies about it, right?
Yeah, I think in the blog post we put up that, Costco has incredible value, you got quality and selection, you got, an expensive product range, bulk buying. I mean, stuff that people probably already know.
Right.
I figure we'd talk about some of the things we didn't list in the article. It's kind of like the guerrilla guide to Costco.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So, the big joke about going to Costco is, I'm going to go to Costco and get my $1.50 hot dog and drink. So Costco has a lot of loss leader stuff they sell, but a lot of people don't talk about the underbelly of eating at Costco. You just go around and sample everything. And
well, to their credit, the $1.50 hot dogs and the pizzas and the chicken sticks, they're up front.
Yes.
But the samples are all the way in the back.
They're very smart. They put those samples in the back half of the store. That's what the official word is. So also, it's not all of their edibles. Legal edibles are in the front of the store. Some of the things you take home, like the roast chicken, the milk, the other loss leaders that you're going to take home are in the back of the store as well.
Right.
So, yeah, the other thing about Costco is, my wife has gotten me on this, is they carry exclusive items, but they rotate how they, what stores carry them. She follows this Facebook thing called Costco Does It Again. And people are like just religiously taking pictures and tracking all this stuff. So if you ever really want to kind of treasure hunt, it's kind of a fun game that people like to play. And sometimes you could get some really good deals on some good quality stuff.
So pro tip, follow online groups and take a look online at other people's experiences.
Yeah, so that way you don't have to be the Costco junkie. You can just rely on other people being hopelessly lost in Costco, which you don't want to be.
One of the major things that we said in the article was plan ahead and make a list. And if you stick to that,
yeah,
it should be a little bit better for you. What else are we looking at here, David?
So the other thing about Costco that people don't really take advantage of is the travel and the automotive stuff. But the travel thing very, very much is the top of the list on that. You can get a lot better discount than going to like Travelocity or Orbitz or those other travel sites. You can get about 20% better discounts by going through Costco. It's just really manual, but I recommend trying to go through it. And the other thing is super old man and boring, is their insurance stuff is awesome as well.
Hey, insurance is important, man, especially if you have a family like you do.
Insurance is key.
David is kind of our tech correspondent otherwise, so be sure to take a look at the blog and listen to Arbitrage News every day. He'll be on every once in a while. Thanks, David.
Oh, great to be here.
Hey, hon, what you doing with your phone? Taking pictures?
No, I'm asking it questions.
Like what?
Hey, Bobo, do flowers have best friends?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, follow me. I want to show you something. Look, flowers do have best friends.
Whoa.
Some answers can only be found in nature. Discover the unsearchable. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a trail near you. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
What is dedication?
My daughter is biological and my son is adopted. I love them both so much.
from the morning when you wake up to putting them to bed at night and every moment in between. I think a parent's job is to protect our children, but also prepare them for the world so they become good, kind human beings.
That's dedication. Find out more at fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
You know, the Grammys have been around for quite a while, and it seems like to me, Royce, have you watched the Grammys lately?
Not lately. Lately as in maybe 2 years ago?
Yeah, I stopped watching the Grammys probably around 2015, 2016.
Yikes, why?
It just seemed really weird to me.
The music was changing?
The music was changing, and I wasn't changing with it. I'm the old man sitting on my porch saying, get off my lawn. That's what
I knew it.
That's what it is. Well, last month, the Recording Academy announced a series of changes to the Grammy Awards to better reflect the evolving music industry, whether you like that evolution or not. Among these newly instituted guidelines was talking about technological advancements in machine learning. What does that mean? Well, it's cognitive AI.
What makes it cognitive?
Well, you have to have input, training, you know.
Well, no, it's AI by default. It had to be trained. What makes it cognitive?
Yeah. Well, that's a good question. So what it came down to is that only human creators could win the music industry's highest honor, talking about the use of artificial intelligence in popular music, i.e. a work that contains no human authorship is not eligible.
Okay.
So here's the thing, right? The CEO has now come out. His name's Harvey Mason Jr. He's come out and he said, look, here's the super easy headline statement. AI or music containing AI created elements is absolutely eligible for entry and for consideration for Grammy nomination, period. What's not going to happen is we're not going to give a Grammy or a Grammy nomination to the AI portion. If an AI or voice modeling program performs the lead vocal on a song, the track would be eligible in a songwriting category, for example, but not a performance category because what is performing is not a human creation. Conversely, if a song was sung by an actual human in the studio, they did all the performing, but the AI lyric, but they used AI lyrics, then it wouldn't be eligible in a composition or songwriting category. So, technically speaking, as long as the human is contributing in a meaningful way, they'll always be considered for a nomination.
Okay.
Kind of dialed that in a little bit. Okay. But it's interesting because AI technology, you know, and music in itself, it's always said that there's no new music, you know, that everybody is doing a modicum of the same thing
over and over again.
Over and over again. As a matter of fact, Paul McCartney shared that the last Beatles record had been composed using AI to extract John Lennon's voice from an old demo. Technically speaking, that's using AI, but it's John Lennon's voice. It's John Lennon's composition, John Lennon's performance.
Correct.
You know?
So if you sample enough of the source, is it AI or is it, you know,
is it something else? That's a good question. I don't know. But we'll be following this as well. You have a great weekend. We will do the same. We'll see you on Monday.
Rewind.
Arbitrage Trade Analytics, LLC is a privately held research company. Arbitrage Trade Analytics, LLC is solely responsible for the preparation and distribution of the contents of this podcast. The opinions offered in this podcast are for informational purposes only and are not intended to function as investment advice. Seek a duly licensed professional for investment advice. For more information about the informational research and services offered by Arbitrage Trade Analytics, LLC,